Welcome back to the Voice on Demand podcast by the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers and Retailers. We are with the CEO and founder of WONE, a digital performance marketing consultancy. She conducts regular trainings in Astrolabs, a masterclass with DigimarCon 2019, and in the University of Sharjah, and one of the judges for the International Business and Leadership Awards, Aida Sahraoui. We are at the age of focus of online and offline data measurement. I don't think many understand the importance of digital marketing, and that is another reason why we try as much as possible to cover this in every angle by inviting many experts here in our podcast.
Thanks for downloading the Voice on Demand podcast by the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers and Retailers. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more exciting episodes.
Hi Aida, first and foremost, we would like to thank you for coming over to our studio today. Here's a very important question that we have been meaning to ask someone that has the expertise. Why do you think that many are afraid to be too invested into digital marketing?
I think that most of the stakeholders are not seeing this often because of a lack of time and resources, because of a lack of information, I'd say, and knowledge on what you can do today to properly measure and what are the benefits of measuring properly. So when it comes to digital marketing and most specifically performance marketing, the field in digital that is highly data-driven and measurement-driven, where any decision you take is a decision based on data, where you run a lot of A/B testing, you initiate a lot of learning curves. This is the difference between performance digital and just marketing digital, And when it comes to performance, we talk about measurement. And when we talk about measurement, we mean online measurement, but also online to offline and offline to online. So among the people who have interacted with your online ads, how many have ended up in store, and what do they do in store? Have they purchased? Have they returned? What's the average basket value they've purchased with? And what is the customer lifetime value, which is this metric that explains to you how a customer is valuable to your business. Yes. on a certain span of time, So instead of focusing only on the number, a bit in a silo kind of thinking, this is my online e-commerce traffic and this is my offline store traffic, you would need to think synergies and integrations. And this is what we're going to discuss today.
Okay, so that's basically like omnichannels and multi-channels,
yes,
right?
Exactly. This is an omnichannel attribution model where you're going to read the data in a 360 view, I would say, As I said, rather than seeing it in silos, you will understand the full value of a customer acquired online but has made a conversion offline, and how you can use this offline data to maximize and be more efficient in terms of online targeting as well. Because if someone has purchased a suit from your store, you would not want to show him the same suit ad online either, right? So you would like to show him similar suits or any other products, and you do some cross-selling. So this is also one of the major benefits of measuring this activity.
I see. For those that are actually new to the concept, so basically from my understanding, omnichannel is, as you said, the integration of different platforms that supports customers' interaction. For example, if customer has started an interaction with a company on, let's say, web chat, and submits information such as account numbers or any inquiries or questions, then decides to end the chat, and after 2 hours, she comes back again with a different platform, like in the customer service behind calls with agents. That information can be transferred to the agent. And whereas a multi-channel capabilities accommodates, of course, both of these platforms, but does not integrate, so the customer will technically needs to re-enter and explain the whole complaint or the whole inquiry about the product, and that's such a hassle because at the era that we have now, everyone is on the go. Mere seconds are very important because the customer loses interest just like a snap.
Very true. I completely agree, actually. When you think about the omni-channel part, obviously, as the name stands for, is this very unified view that is purely integrated. When you talk about multi-channel or even cross-devices performance or cross-devices analysis, then we're talking about a touch point or an interaction that has started from one touch point, then ended up on another one, and in between crossed maybe 2 or 3 other touch points. So it goes back to what we call in digital attribution, to which touch point would you attribute a final conversion? And when we talk about advertising, you can think of it as someone who has been searching for, let's say, iPhone 10, for instance, has seen a generic ad on Google search results page, and then has clicked on the ad and then went on the website, but then had to bounce because the lady has a baby and had to leave for other activities, or think about it as any other example on the go on mobile. You're driving, you cannot finish the interaction. So you're going to go back later and you're going to see, and you won't be looking for iPhone 10 because you've already seen that this specific brand has the iPhone you're looking for. So you're going to straight away search for the brand name. You're going to go on the website and make a purchase. On many tools today, without revealing any specific name, it is often a last click attribution model where the last touch point gets the whole credit. But when you think about it, if the person did not search for a generic query, which is iPhone, or a product name query or a specific model, they wouldn't have seen the brand at the second touch point. So the first interaction has contributed into generating the first the conversion. However, a lot of models would not show you this. They would show you only the last click, which is your brand, meaning that it goes to understanding the value of what really generates a conversion, and how do you attribute your cost to it, because at the end of the day, we're in an era of measurement and efficiency. So you want to know that you want to make sure that if you put $1, you get it times 3 or 4 or 5, based actually on the margins you're making on each product. So you want to make sure that if touchpoint A has contributed at least a 40% in the final conversion, you would still give it enough chance to run in the upcoming campaigns, and you wouldn't kill it because you would think that it did not generate anything. So us as a performance agency, we focus on this kind of information, multi-channels, omni-channel as well, cross devices, and so many other things. But I guess for today, I would talk mainly about online to offline, offline to online.
A lot of these concepts are, I would say, fairly new to some of the old blood in the industry. They find it hard to adapt because these are new concepts. Is this really a necessity at this era?
It's definitely a huge necessity, actually, when you think about it. You could hear a lot of people talking about traditional media, thinking radio and TV, but today digital has become a traditional media too. So it is not even an option. It's a must, and whatever is happening today is already part of the past. Now, obviously, the machine learning and all the tools we use today are getting much more advanced, and we're going into even the biggest platforms, and providers are working really hard to improve this, omnichannel view. And they're doing it for one reason, right? Because there is a huge value any business can take from it. So I would really recommend anyone who's listening here that has obviously retail shops, but also an e-commerce platform, to measure this activity and make sure they make the most out of it in terms of tracking and measurement. And I'll explain a bit. I'll give some examples a bit later.
But how do we integrate that for brick and mortars?
This is a very, very relevant question, actually. This is the question a lot of retailers ask themselves for, right? So as you say, the good thing about digital and e-commerce is that everything is measurable. You put your tracking code on your website or app, and you can know almost everything about your customers, where they have landed, how much time they've spent, which page have they been spending most of the time on, if they bounced, what did they bounce, why did they bounce, sorry. So you can really know a lot of things. When it comes to offline, this gets a bit more, gets trickier, because you have to have what we call a unique identifier that would link a customer online to the offline customer. So we've worked with one of the biggest retailers, e-com retailers and omni-channel players, I'd say, in the region. You have a few ways to do it. One, and the most efficient way, is to have what we call a loyalty card. The loyalty card is obviously unique to each customer. So you would have one with a unique identifier. Whether you use it online or in stores, we know that it is, Justin, who has visited this specific website, made a purchase of a shirt and a polo, for instance, and then went to store and finished buying bottoms and shoes, for instance. We can send back this data using a CRM that is well aggregated, that collects data properly, and then sends it back to other platforms, like the advertising platforms we're using, Google, Facebook, and others. This is the best way to do it. Why is it best? Because it's accurate, and because using that specific CRM that ideally would integrate automatically with other, open sources and other solutions, you can create a lot of efficiency using this specific way of measuring the data. The pros and cons, obviously. The good part is, as I said, the good thing is the accuracy and the measurement. The less and most time-consuming task is to put it in place, right? So a lot of businesses either do not know how to do it or do not have the resources, material or human resources. So when it comes back to these businesses, we'll go for option 2, for instance, which is an option that is based on pure digital solutions. So today, for instance, we can create campaigns using our platforms to geofence around a specific store or mall. Okay. So we can say that anyone in a radius of around 3 miles or 2 miles around the specific store should see our ad, and then we will use a specific voucher or some kind of unique code to send him to the store and say, get your makeup, for instance, styling in this specific store, use this specific voucher when you get in store. Once the customer gets in store, they give the specific voucher to the people who work there, and the information is straight away recorded on a database, ideally a CRM. I'm not a big fan of manual work, so I'd always go with automation. But again, here it all depends on the way the stores would collect the data. So here, by entering this voucher that is unique to digital, we would know that the specific customer who came offline has interacted with an ad because he has used this voucher. That is only coming from our campaign. So it's quite unique as well, right? So you can really geofence, and it's pretty interesting what we can do in terms of targeting capabilities. The third option, which is also good enough, not very accurate, unfortunately, because again, to be very accurate, you have to allocate a unique identifier to the person itself, to the user.
Yep.
The third one is to use objectives on the platforms that are called store visit objective, which is us creating campaigns to drive people to click on visit store and take them to a store locator, or to a Google Maps, for instance. And we know by the fact that they've interacted with the Google Map location link, and since they have
would know what they need,
exactly,
what they want.
Yes, you would know
what they're going for.
Exactly, which store they're going for. Once they go to the store, since they have their geolocation enabled, it's a bit scary, I know. Maybe like you're tracking every single move, Once they get to store, then you can know that this specific person has, came from this specific ad, went to the store and made XYZ on the store. Yes. So obviously the information would always need to be sent back from the store to the online. And then it's very easy to have it in our dashboards online, because we also build dashboards that are real-time, that can show you in real time using Tableau or Data Studio or any other platform how many offline conversions versus online, how much you spent on these campaigns, etc. So it's highly effective, I would say.
So in terms of efficiency, would you say that it increases like 100% or 200% in efficiency compared to the ones who do not have this kind of support?
Yes, I mean, if we talk about option 1, I'd say it's definitely...
Well, there are, of course, case-to-case
Yes, exactly. It's case basis, because it also depends on how the stores have listed their businesses. So it goes back to... how efficient they have been into also placing and listing the stores, whether on Google or Facebook, and we also support businesses in this direction. We help them really be the most efficient possible in listing their stores, because it is very important.
Exactly.
It's taken into account when you're ranked organically. But if we are to talk about option 1, so it is definitely an incremental of,
these are not trade secrets, right?
Yes, no.
Okay.
Maybe a bit.
Well, thanks so much for sharing that.
Honestly, it is. There are tips and tricks that not a lot of agencies know, but I'm happy to share them with the people who are listening today.
Well, in any case, I think the only ones who can do it are you guys.
Thank you so much.
So it doesn't really matter anyway.
Yeah, right? It's good to share, but then who does it? It's very tricky. I completely understand and completely agree. Yes, that's it. So these are a few tips and tricks. A lot of other things are coming up. Stay tuned. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I always launch and update the people around about the betas and the new things that are being launched. And we do a lot of case studies. So we're one of the retailer clients we have. We're probably going to do a retail case study about online to offline measurement. So stay tuned.
Absolutely, we'll be looking forward to it. And yeah, it's an important element that needs to be side by side with retailers and businesses right now are in the digital era.
And we also need to think about it from a scalability point of view. As the example I gave is all the data that you collect offline, you can leverage it online as well. So you can create lists of these people who have visited your store and show them similar products, you know, or create what we call lookalike or similar audiences to these who have visited and purchased, let's say, for average order value above 1,000 dirhams, for instance, and show them only, you know, products above 100,000. So you can really leverage your data. You can create a lot of synergies. You're going to be more efficient, you know, ROI perspective, and you're going to be more integrated. So it's amazing for any business.
And that is Aida Sahraoui, everyone, one of the members of the MECS+R, CEO and founder of WONE. To reach out to Aida, you can visit their website at www.wone.ae. At WONE, we are young, vibrant, and most importantly, we are relevant. We reach those corners you never thought of, attract the audience you never knew could be yours, and engage existing clients so you remain fit for the journey. See you in the next episode. Ciao.